So do you see it? It's right there.
You have to zoom in.
Although when I'm looking around, I don't see anything obviously where it looks like it's walked through. So
it might be nothing on the
could
recorder.
entirely be 100% bust. Could be. I just don't see it now. I'd be very much optimistic if I saw some more residue of what looked like some prints coming through. This push down is more than likely still from me when I was out here.
It's me and Chris and a couple of people that we came out here to get that, and I'm going to meet up with more people later on to do some follow-ups.
I don't see any footprints around me though. So if it got anything, it would be maybe more distant, a little more distant, maybe. Let's see if it's.
Is it still running? Or is it dead?
It should be dead. It's cold. It's dead.
Okay, so it's good that we got it.
Yeah. It'd have been of no more use.
No more good.
Yeah. It didn't come on, so it's completely dead.
All right. Can't wait to see what's on it.
Maybe a whole lot of nothing.
So
Okay.
it was Saturday evening.
Daylight still.
It was daylight. Yeah, it was probably 4:30,
Okay.
4:45.
Yeah.
I'm coming down this way. I'm running 55 mile an hour. I got a little Toyota pickup.
Yeah.
It had 529 gears in it, so the 55 was max. I mean, yeah, I could run it on up speed, but it hurt the motor. So I just ran 55. I had dogs in the truck. I had a camera in the truck in case I shot a deer. I had a 30-06 in the truck. And when I drove by, when I got to that point right there and I seen what I seen, everything went slow motion. And I looked hard enough to think no one is ever going to believe this. It had 1 foot here, and it had 1 foot over here, and it was doing this. It looked just like this.
Looking down the roadway?
Looking this way, like it hears something coming, or it sees something, something's over there. It never moved a muscle.
And didn't care about
Didn't care about me going by. And the first thing I could do, when I seen it, my hair stood up, and I made sure what I was looking at was real. I know what I seen, and I never thought anything about this. Never in the life of me. I'd have told you you're crazier than hell.
Yeah.
But when I seen it, I knew what I was seeing, and I double did it again. And the only thing I could think of was put it in a higher or lower gear and floor it, because it could chase me down if it wanted to. And I'll take that to my grave.
So it's facing down.
So it had 1 foot over here and 1 foot here, and it was like this, looking this way. The one leg was as big as my belly, my girth. One leg.
What was
Between 8.5 and 9.5 foot tall. It had no neck. It was hair. It went straight to the shoulders and made Arnold Schwarzenegger look like a kid.
Do you remember a color or anything?
It was reddish brown.
Reddish brown. I think there was a report around 2010 of someone saying reddish brown.
Reddish brown. Huge. Absolutely huge. It looked like a bodybuilder with hair. I mean, you could see muscle tone, and it was just unreal. You know how Arnold does his poses.
Yeah.
This guy didn't have to pose. He was already ripped to 9 foot tall.
Wow. And the roadway, you were elevated on the roadway too.
And
This goes all the way across to the other side too.
And here's the thing. in the past 15 years, I've stopped here. I brought apples here, alcohol to it, no weapon.
In the following years.
In the following years,
Yeah.
and then I walked it from here to the to the other side of that yellow line right there is like 20 something yards.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I tried to put a tree here. I've tried to do everything. I immediately, when I got home, my little sister, I told her about it and the fear in her eyes. But I've told people.
Looking down the road though, that's an odd,
And I had,
around 2002, 2000.
and my tires were, I had mud tires. Not really loud, but he did not move a muscle. Nothing.
He was more concerned with
What's going over here? That's right.
what he said was going on there.
Hunter was done. The shoulders was, I was just looking at the tone, how muscle bound it was and how large it was. That's what blew my mind. My first thought was, get it in another gear because he could chase you down if he turned and noticed you.
Yeah. And if you
That-
had that concern that he could chase you down,
It told me how he catches game. It told me catching a deer is nothing to this guy.
yeah.
Nothing.
It's wet on there.
But I think it's okay.
It's like braided in. So you can see the braid.
And they root in here.
Oh yeah, there's holes.
Yeah, sun was going down, so we were trying to get out.
I mean, has it rained lately? It sure looks like it has.
No, it hasn't rained. Well, it rained about
The ground looks still
3-4 nights ago, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say it
Came
still
down
looks
pretty
good.
hard.
Yeah, Wednesday night. Wednesday night.
Uh-huh. There is a little side thing going on here.
Oh, what's this? Toe
Gator, maybe.
gator? Oh shit. Well, see, they opened Huckleberry Trail for hunting. And I think that's probably why they do the spraying down there and the burning and all that. But it's just dead out there because of it.
So y'all were poking around down this trail then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my daughter's idea. She was like, we never went down here. Let's just go down here.
I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, because the sun's about to go down. And me and Zula come up on it. When we get to the spot, I'll show you like exactly what happened.
This is where you seen that one print.
The one I took a picture of. Yeah.
Really? Over here?
Near the
Yes,
water.
This is where you seen it. It was right in this spot. I believe it was like, and then went down towards the creek.
I believe I still have a photo of it.
Hear him now? Something's got it.
Hey, y'all smell that?
I didn't smell anything walking through
Smelt musky.
I see mosquitoes.
Of course, that could be a cat.
We went from it being wet and good creek to now dry almost.
Turn on my thermostat.
Not dry, but it's muffled. See, it happened right here,
No
'cause I
bug
remember
juice
that-
on. Is
that
it
down
burning?
tree on the other side, 'cause I
Yeah, but
crossed
it's,
over
you see
to
the
go
light.
there.
A lot of times it won't.
Where's the light supposed to be?
It's very tight.
Yeah, I heard it at
It's
night.
on, but I don't see
Yeah,
no
but
light.
you just check the light.
There it is. It's
Okay.
barely on.
Yeah. It has to burn. A lot of times I'll hear it pushing and the light won't even be on. It's wasting gas.
How high up was your scrunchie?
It would have been right here.
Okay, so
Hang on.
I was back here. They were up there. I was back here walking. I was looking at the ground, looking for tracks, stuff like that. And that's when that thing dropped back yonder.
Really?
I believe he was on that tree that's going across back there.
Yeah.
But he was kind of more towards the root system. And
Because
he
you heard
dropped.
it drop. Yeah. You said you heard something like thump.
Oh, it was heavy.
It wasn't on that long tree where me and Jima call it. It was on this tree right here with the little branch coming out right there, right past the stump.
See, but y'all were up here more. I was back
His
there.
vantage
I'm
point-
pretty sure that thing was back there
Yeah,
on
his
that tree
vantage
that was
point's
going
different.
across. And he dropped down, and he was just like this. And then next thing you know, that joker was gone.
And there's the creek.
And you could
between-
hear.
There's nothing here, right? There's nothing there.
Okay, so
No.
The backyards are on the
Back-
opposite side of that
right.
creek.
what makes you guys think, this is not that I don't believe you,
Oh.
what if it was like a Florida panther? I mean, what makes you
The
think it was
height.
the height?
Because
Man, that joker was
here, hold
like
this.
this, was at least this much taller than me.
Thank you. So
Yeah, 'cause you
there's
said
way more
palmettos.
light right now than there was when it happened.
Okay.
When he went,
But
you could just see everything.
At
just
first you
switch.
hear this like that, but way more weight to it.
Heavier.
So me and Jimbo immediately look over because we were coming back from this way, about to head out. And we look over, and right when we look over, we see something come up to a full like kind of height, but not because it was slouched like this.
Yeah.
Never look our way. You can see a side profile thing, and then just,
Took off.
I mean,
So that,
took off.
and I had to ask that because I wanted, the viewers to understand that it wasn't, a Florida
Yeah, and it
bobcat or
happened to-
panther or
and
any
I
of our
looked
wildcats
over
that we
and that's
have.
when-
No grunting noise, no smell.
anything like that. It was just heavy footprint. Think about it, right? If it were to run this way, it would have had to come back out in front of it.
Yeah, but that's towards the lake. That's a dead end. That ends up
He's
being,
got all free reign. to go
yes,
down.
free reign, but you gotta, so the direction, us on the terrain map.
Rooster.
But that ends up being a dead end. He ends up feeling maybe possible trap.
But
if
when
he
it
goes
took
that
off,
way.
I mean, all these palmettos that you see that are up above
Yeah.
the tree line, them things were moving
Yeah.
out of the way.
So
They were
it was
party.
wide. It was wide enough to where it was moving.
Yes,
this
I see
is-
the big palmetto. So like, okay, say, can you go over there to where you remember, and we'll stay here
Be careful.
and just go through the direction of travel to the best.
You can see where something's been coming down to the
And
creek.
now I'm
There's like a
asking you to
little
do
trail.
something that you were not there. So, or maybe it would be better if I walked over there.
Yeah, it would be better if you walked over there.
That way he can say no, pull right, and then go.
See, I came over here and I got about right in here, and I'm like, all right, I'm going, and I came back.
Yeah, because we couldn't see
I just
anything.
didn't feel right.
Have you went back in there since?
No.
Things can change in your memory real fast, but we'll look and see if the ground says anything. But
Okay.
there is something pushed down right
Yeah,
here.
explain yourself again because she just
But there's
turned.
leaves.
Chris.
So right there is an indentation.
Yeah, explain. She just
He-
turned the camera
He
on.
said he thought from his vantage point, if I remember right, he remembers something with the vertical tree or the horizontal tree,
Right.
which is right here. She remembers something with roots.
She remembers this right here.
Okay, closer to this tree.
Yeah.
Well,
And if you,
it's because they are in a different angle.
But I would have been back yonder more. She was up closer more.
But whenever I was standing back there looking at where you were standing, you're dead on where he stood.
yeah, it's freshly done.
This right here, they do this within.
So they could
So-
have destroyed. They could have
Yeah, there's
destroyed
no
any
prints
evidence.
left after the hogs got through.
In the rain.
Yeah, they could have destroyed any evidence left behind. But you know what? Think about it. Let's just say you're running from somebody.
There's more water.
You're not going to run through this.
So that
Yeah,
speed
something hit it.
and force in the palms more than crunching.
Yeah.
It was like thud and then chaos.
Kind of like two hands, maybe.
Like it did not
Think
want
about
to
it.
be.
Looking at that one, it's like
Yeah.
My question after
we see
the fact
footprints
was,
from time to
why
time,
didn't
right
they
on,
jump
right in
down?
behind the hog activity.
Because
Like you
if it
come
would
along
have
and see where the
stayed
hog
where it was
rooted,
sitting, we
right
would have
on
never
there.
have seen it.
Maybe, I mean, I don't know, fear. It didn't want to be seen. Maybe it thought that it would have been seen. I mean, who knows?
Like something was over here looking at us.
A lot of times.
He saw the palm fronds pull apart,
Yeah.
right? Look how big they are.
Yeah, she said it
Look
too.
how big they are, and how much strength that it would take to pull them apart. We've done ruled out. We have done already ruled out the. It's a guy in a ghillie suit. We've already ruled that one out because look at this stuff right here.
We found a broken branch right here.
If it went through these palmettos, and look at the palmettos compared to my height. You would have to. I mean, you would have to with a lot of strength. You'd have to have a lot of strength to pull them apart at the distance he was at. You just would. These things are very resilient. And if I was a guy in a ghillie suit, no, I would not be jumping or running through a palmetto bush. And not in a ghillie suit. So the ghillie suit story, I ain't buying. Or just a guy in a ghillie suit taking off. It's much too strong, much too large to separate all that. Now the hogs that came in and they've come in and tore up everything, so the physical evidence on the ground is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, it's all.
But if you just
And we had rain too.
but if you look at this stuff, we are seeing some indications of stuff broken. And
yeah, he said I just heard in the background.
yeah,
he
we
said,
have
"You guys
seen
saw
some smaller
broken
branches
stuff."
broken, and they were broken in that direction
Okay.
right here. So we did see some stuff right over here, broken in the branch facing that way. So that's the direction of travel.
Well,
So that jives.
and if you,
So may I ask a question? When you guys saw this thing, was it just dark, or was there a color to it?
It was dark. It was.
It was just
That
black
thing was
to
solid
you.
black almost.
To
Okay.
me, I thought it was more of a dark brown.
Yeah.
A dark brown.
It was dark from my point of where I was
Yes.
standing, and it was at that point where the sun was starting to kind of come down too.
Yeah, because you got shadows now.
You know, it seemed pretty dark-haired. It was dark,
Dark.
but it was a big figure.
an animal trail from here
Yeah.
straight through there.
That's what you guys think. It's an alligator.
And it goes out deeper.
There's another dome over there that looks like either a beaver or otter dome.
Pines.
Yeah, and you have cattle ranchers out there too, so there's food.
There's cattle out there.
Yeah, there's cattle out there. I spotted them already.
There's wetlands too. You can see that.
Yep.
think it happened somewhere in the second toll. Depends on what direction you're going, of course.
Yeah.
But you can tell that's very dense woodlands right here.
Yeah. Well, it's on the right side too, depending on which direction.
I'm thinking it was heading on this side. Is what I was thinking.
Want to turn over? Go.
And it was up here in this area. See all the wetlands and stuff here? Coming up.
Yeah, it's on both sides though.
Yep.
It's wet on both sides. That stuff right there grows in water.
He said it went into wetlands, cleared the fence like nobody's business, and went into wetland. The
There's
fence is much taller here. You notice that?
Yeah, the fence got taller.
You notice this?
Yeah. The fence is no longer 6 foot.
Wow, and I
This-
wonder why.
It's more like 10 foot.
and I
more
wonder,
maybe 12 foot.
And I wonder why. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is like 12-foot fence.
This is interesting now.
You want me to get out and walk down? For any reason, Bayard?
Yeah, gauge the fence. Walk down there to the fence. I'm gonna get off the roadway a little bit more. It's 10 feet tall on both sides of the roadway.
Maybe there's a reason.
It's very, very dense going through here on both sides. In case I forget to tell you, this is where it was reported, I want to say 2 weeks ago now, I want to say, there was a report that went out over Facebook about a guy said he had seen one, basically had jettisoned across the road and jumped the fence like it was like nobody's business. And we're looking at 10-foot fences in this
think they're
particular
12.
area. Huge. That's not a norm in Florida.
That's 12 feet tall, I think.
That's not a norm in Florida. And some people might say, well, they do that to keep the gators out. Gators will climb fences also. But the gator fences I know that I've seen in Florida are normally at an angle a little bit. They're at a little bit of an angle so the gators can't. Around Kennedy Space Center they have that. In the Kennedy Space Center they have some of their sites protected with
Yeah, that's called like an omega fence.
with a gator fence, and I think it's at the very top. It's either at an angle or it's sloped going up so they can't stand on their tails and crawl up.
It's actually to keep people out too. They just, you can't go in or out with that type of a fence. But that's at least 12 feet. You count the little strands on the post, and it's heavy gauge. Yeah, that's it. Good Lord, that's a big fence.
He said it was right after they got through the toll. So, you know what direction the guy was coming from, Betty? I think the guy was coming from Disney World.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking he was coming from Disney
Yeah,
World
'cause-
area, and it was after the toll this
Well,
direction.
Loftman is 5 miles down the road, and that's another small Podo.
So let me just spin around, and we'll.
Yeah, those type of plants right there on the fence edge, that's water plants. All that grows in water. See how they're coming through the fence?
That's all wetlands right there. We just don't know where it happened. So I don't know if it was this particular direction or after the toll or before. And what direction were they traveling, I don't know yet either. But I would love for this person to come show me. Because I'd be looking at that fence for hair. And footprints on the other side.
Well, if it's wet,
But
you're
if
not
it's-
gonna, if it's swampy, you're not going to get a
If
print.
it's totally swampy, yeah, you can forget the print.
Because those type of plants grow in the water.
Yeah,
It's on both sides of the
you
road.
can forget that.